Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast where we help you boost your English skills and speak with more confidence. I'm Steve, and today, we're going to talk about one of the easiest and most fun topics you can use to practice your English, your hobbies. Yes, talking about hobbies is a great way to start conversations, share your interests, and connect with others. Plus, it's a topic where you don't need to be an expert. You just need to be yourself. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's dive in. First off, why is it important to be able to talk about your hobbies in English? Well, hobbies are a common topic in small talk. Whether you're meeting someone new, chatting with a friend, or even having a job interview, people often ask about your hobbies as a way to get to know you better. Talking about your hobbies can make you feel more relaxed and confident because it's something you're familiar with. It also shows that you're an interesting person with passions and interests beyond work or study. To get started, let's talk about some useful vocabulary and phrases that can help you explain your hobbies in English. When someone asks you about your hobbies, you can start with simple phrases like, I enjoy or I love, followed by the activity. For example, I enjoy painting or I love playing basketball. You can also say, I'm really into or I'm a big fan of, to express strong interest. For instance, I'm really into photography or I'm a big fan of hiking. Now, let's take it up a notch. If you want to sound more natural and keep the conversation going, try adding some details about why you like your hobby, how often you do it, or any interesting experiences you've had related to it. For example, I love painting because it helps me relax after a long day. I usually paint on weekends when I have more free time. Or, I'm really into photography, especially landscape photography. I enjoy capturing the beauty of nature when I go hiking. Adding a reason or extra detail makes your response more engaging and gives the other person a chance to ask follow-up questions. Another way to talk about your hobbies is by using different tenses. For example, use the present perfect tense to talk about hobbies you've done for a while. I've been playing the guitar for about 5 years. Use the past tense to describe hobbies you used to do but don't do anymore. I used to play football when I was in high school, but now I just watch it on TV. Changing the tense helps you share more about your experiences and your journey with the hobby. Now, let's talk about some common hobbies you might want to describe in English. There are so many hobbies out there, but here are a few popular categories. Sports and outdoor activities. Things like running, cycling, swimming, hiking, and yoga. Creative hobbies, such as painting, drawing, playing a musical instrument, writing, and photography. Collecting. Some people enjoy collecting things like stamps, coins, or even comic books. Reading and gaming, including reading books, playing video games, or even board games. Think about your own hobbies and which category they fall into. Then, you can add more details about them. For example, if you love hiking, you could say, I'm really into hiking. I love exploring different trails, and I always try to go somewhere new on the weekends. Last month, I hiked up a mountain, and the view from the top was amazing. Now, let's practice some common questions and responses you might hear in conversations about hobbies. Question: what do you like to do in your free time? Response: in my free time, I like to play the piano. I find it really calming. Question: do you have any hobbies? Response: yes, I'm into cooking. I enjoy trying new recipes, especially different types of pasta dishes. Question: how long have you been doing that? Response: I've been practicing yoga for about 2 years now. It's a great way to stay fit and de-stress. Remember, these are just starting points. You can always add more details to make the conversation more interesting. And don't be afraid to ask the other person about their hobbies too. You can say something like, "How about you? Do you have any hobbies?" This shows that you're interested in the other person and keeps the conversation flowing. Now, I want to share a tip for talking about hobbies that may not sound very exciting at first. Let's say your hobby is something simple, like reading. Instead of just saying, "I like reading," you can spice it up by mentioning the type of books you enjoy, or why you find it interesting. For example, "I enjoy reading mystery novels because I love trying to figure out who the culprit is before the end of the book." Another tip is to learn a few phrases that show enthusiasm. If you're passionate about your hobby, use words that express excitement. Phrases like, "I'm crazy about," "I can't get enough of," or "I'm obsessed with," can show that you're really passionate about what you're talking about. For example, "I'm obsessed with scuba diving. The underwater world is just fascinating." Okay, let's do a quick recap of what we've covered so far. Use simple phrases to start talking about your hobbies. "I enjoy," "I love," "I'm into." Add details about why you like your hobby and how often you do it. Use different tenses to share more about your experiences. Practice talking about common hobby categories and add some details. Ask questions to keep the conversation going. Show enthusiasm with phrases that express excitement. Before we wrap up, I have a little homework challenge for you. Try to record yourself talking about your hobbies for 1 minute. Talk about why you enjoy them, how often you do them, and any memorable experiences you've had. Then, listen to the recording and think about how you can make your description more engaging. You can even share it with a friend or a language partner and ask for feedback. Alright, that's all for today's episode. I hope you found these tips helpful and feel more confident talking about your hobbies in English. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with someone who's also learning English. Don't forget to subscribe for more language tips and tricks. And as always, keep practicing and having fun with your English learning. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care, and happy learning.